Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Thought Atlas podcast. Today's guest is Valerie Demont, author of Being the New Doing, author of Being is the New Doing, conscious business mentor and creator of the Fluid Way. After experiencing two burnouts before 30, she redefined success by shifting from overworking and proving to presence-led intuitive leadership. Now she helps spiritually aligned entrepreneurs build businesses that breathe with them, combining strategy, energy, and deep inner governance. Valerie, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
So, before we kick things off, can you please tell us more about yourself?
Oh, okay. So, what do you want to know?
Uh, you
Uh,
know, who is Valerie?
yes.
Beyond the success and everything, just
Uh,
regular everyday Valerie.
okay. So, standard stuff. I live in Switzerland with my family, happily married for more than 20 years. My son is 19 years old. And what else? I think I've been looking to be myself, fully myself, for my whole life. And at one point, I realized that I have to take the place instead of fighting to find my place. And I have to allow myself to be fully me instead of waiting for people to accept me fully and completely. And I think that's what I have looked for my whole life.
Thank you so much for that submission, Valerie. That was wonderful. So you experienced two burnouts before 30. What were you chasing at the time and what were you trying to avoid?
I'm still trying to avoid it,
Mm.
but now I have the chance today to have signals in my body, just between my solar plexus and my heart, just here in the sternum. That is, it's a contraction. It almost feel like a kind of anxiety. And when I feel that, it's a sign that something is not right. Pay attention to your rhythm, pay attention to what you're thinking now, what's happening on your landscape, and is it really right? How is your energy, etc.? And this is my signals, and what I've received from the two burnout that I had. I'm 50, so it was a long time
Oh,
ago, but
you
still,
you don't look 50, just so you know.
but uh, but it seemed that those two burnouts were a long time ago, but still, the human nervous system still works how it should work, and still does his job when it has to do the job. So, yes, the thing that when I was younger, I was fighting for being me, having a career, money, success, and so on. You know, what's written on paper, what you should have as a kind of success. And then many times or several times in my life, I've reached this kind of success and realized that, okay, and what else now? So I've hustled, I pushed hard, I overperformed for what? For money, for prestige, for having the title on a paper. And then, okay, I get it. And but I'm still not fully me.
I see something
I'm
is missing.
yes, yes, because I was seen like the paper results, the outer success results, but within me it was not empty, but not full satisfaction. And um, so, yes, between the last burnout and today, I was looking for who I am and how can I be successful inside myself within me? How does success look like for me on my own way? What is
In
my
terms.
definition? Yeah. And
Yes,
it's more
I think
something like a feeling and
yes.
not, money, 6 figures, 7 figures business or whatever.
I think I understand. So there's what society wants you to be, what they want you to look like, what they want you to represent. Then there's
Yes.
that inner feeling of what you actually want. So essentially, for most of your life, you were just chasing that what society wants, and you forgot and left what you actually wanted inside. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
after being able to achieve what society expects of you, you started to feel empty, which led to the burnout. Am I right?
Yes, but burnout is I understood later that burnout is not only emptiness but it's a consequence of a lot of stuff, overperforming. At that time I commuted a lot, so 2 hours to go to work, 2 hours to come back, worked 10 hours a day, even during the weekend. I was so much in love that it was exhausted because this emotion was too powerful. And yes, at what point I burned out because it was too much.
Much, yes.
And then I realized that all those stuff and all this, running after I don't know what, a kind of outer success drained me so much that I was empty. And then I have to come back to myself and say, oh, okay, how can I recharge myself and feel complete? And what is the purpose of life or my life here?
I
Why I
understand.
am here?
Yes.
Because it's for sure not for this goal.
Yes, yes. That's so wonderful, Valerie. I truly understand. I can relate to that feeling, honestly. You're just chasing money, chasing success, and it's almost as if you forget there are other aspects to life, not just, being able to have money and
Yeah.
being able to have prestige and being able to provide for yourself, which is also quite important. But then again, there are other aspects to life that I need to explore. And it's actually those parts of life that will give you that satisfaction, that inner satisfaction
Yes.
that you're looking for. So you say being is the new doing for a driven entrepreneur. What does that really mean in practical terms?
Yeah, so it means that, all those business models and the pressure to uh, to to succeed or to reach the results makes people nervous, anxious, sick from time to time,
Yeah.
burnout, because yes, not exactly the same as heal, and then um, depletes the quality of life and work. So yes, okay, we reach some goals, but at one point, what's the point having a successful company, 7 figures, whatever is success for this company, and
Yes.
having something like 30% to 50% people working for them that claim they are professionally exhausted. So there is a big issue here, because who wants, but if he imagines you want to sell your company at one point, who wants to buy a company when the founder or the owner is exhausted, where people are exhausted as well, and okay,
Yes.
they have money, but that's not the point, or the only point at least. and
Yes.
and so I really think that all those models are, business models, business plans, and so on, or marketing strategies are not bad. It's the way we approach it and work with it, with what kind of energy, what kind of mindset. And if we act from pressure or playing the firefighter, stuck in the hamster wheel, it nothing will never change, and we reach a point in the world today and the working life that is no more sustainable.
Yes.
So we all want a new world, but we are not ready to change, or we keep doing how we were
Same thing.
doing until today.
Yes.
So being in the new doing means be first and act from alignment, inner governance, instead of instinct, firefighting, hamster wheel, or whatever, inner pressure, outer pressure. Come back to your inner governance and decide and take sustainable decisions from that place.
Oh wow. I think I totally get it now. Now, your approach to being an entrepreneur is, you know what, don't work from a place of pressure, essentially.
Yeah.
You should work from a place of, how do I put it? What word am I looking for now? Kind of like you should actually love what you're doing. You're not doing it because of the hustle and bustle of it. You're doing it because, like you said, it should be something from a place of sustainability, essentially, so that you don't get to a point where you get burnt out because of the fact that there's so much pressure, and this pressure builds in inside of you for years because of probably the work environment and what, like you said, who would want to buy a company from somebody who's exhausted and pressured and burnt out? You would just basically buy the pressure, the exhaustion from that person, and you just continue the process. So I think I believe the more we continue to go into the conversation, you're going to break it down, make it more clear for us. So moving on, many founders feel exhausted even when their business is growing and thriving. Why does external success sometimes amplify internal misalignment?
Because they never heard another way of doing or succeeding. We were all taught that if you push hard or if you want, you can.
Yes,
Or we were it's almost like in sports, but they trained a lot in sports to be able to reach a result. And you don't go to the, I don't know, Australia Open or Olympic Games or wherever without a proper training and the
yes.
proper tools, condition, inner resources.
Even
And
psychologically,
it's absolutely your mindset or visioning or quantum field or whatever the tools you use. You have all that inside yourself to succeed, and then you do your
succeed.
best.
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
and maybe if you are lucky or do better than the other, you succeed. So the pressure comes when you do sports only during the competition.
Oh, I get it now. Yes, yes.
So when you run a company, today, all those big schools or maybe parents or mentors, or they were boomers, Gen X, and they weren't raised the same way Gen Z or Alpha,
Yeah.
or Alpha is not a
Gen
big,
Alpha.
yeah, Gen Alpha is not, they are still young, but they don't want
Millennials.
to, millennials, they don't want to work the same way
Exactly.
than Gen X and the boomers. And so that's the one that are gonna sell their company or teach the younger how to reach success if you're an entrepreneur.
Mm.
And today the standards are not the same. The systemic issues, politicals and so on, aren't the same. Technology is really rising, so the rules have changed,
I
and
understand.
the earth asks, and the energy as well, but the earth, Mother Earth
Yes.
wants us to take care of her. But yes, she will still be here. It's the humanity that will die at one point if we don't change our way of being. And companies, owners of those companies, are a big have a big impact in
How
our
this plays out.
yes.
So I think I understand where the issue is. The thing is, I think there's almost kind of like an emotional disconnect. And I understand why the emotional disconnect is there when it comes to businesses, because of course nobody wants to attach sentiment to business because they want business to be very efficient, especially when you run a company or an industry or a manufacturing firm, for example. But even then, we need to understand that being emotional is an inherent part of being human. And by the time we're able to tap into that emotional being, which is inherently part of us, probably we will find a way to balance it out with, running a business that will also be kind of efficient. They start treating human beings like numbers, like statistics on a piece of paper. And it's the reason why the pressure is so much. Imagine in a company, the CEO is under the same pressure as the person working in the lowest or the least department. And it's just mind-boggling. Everybody's just under so much pressure to deliver, to do, and it's because it's a kind of should I call it a culture, if you will, that we've built up to this point. And I think your perspective on trying to, balance things in a way that we shouldn't be doing things, we shouldn't be working under so much pressure to the point where people don't live long any longer. People are no longer healthy because they are working, and the hustle is just so much. You're hustling so much and you're not even making enough. Sometimes, let's say you're the owner of a company, you're under so much pressure to deliver the I don't even know how to put it, but I think I get it. I get it now. You're basically just trying to, being an entrepreneur doesn't essentially require so much pressure. The word just makes it feel that way, but it shouldn't be like that. So I think you're trying to pass the information where you guys should try and reduce that pressure, balance your emotional state, even involve your emotional states in the process of being an entrepreneur. And we should work on that to find an efficient way to run businesses without feeling pressure all the time. And like you said, before I go to the next question, so I don't talk too much, you said an athlete, for example, only feels pressure when they're in a competition. Immediately after that competition, maybe they went to the Olympics, they're only pressure during that instant. The moment the competition is over, they can relax. But a CEO of a Fortune 500 company or someone who manages a hedge firm or a manufacturing firm is always under constant pressure. Even when they are at home with their family sleeping, they are still thinking, oh, I have to deliver, I have to meet this monthly quota, I need to do so. That is so much. It takes so much toll on the human body. You get to a point where you start to feel, like you said, empty. You start to feel like you've not achieved anything substantial because why? You've poured all your heart and soul into this entrepreneurial pursuit and you've forgotten about your humanity essentially. So I think that's essentially what you've been trying to tell us so far.
Yes, and the only way to we all agree technology AI is rising.
Yes,
But and at one point we still want to keep our humanity and we don't want to be replaced by AI.
yeah,
So how can we balance that, you know?
yes, yes,
So the only way to balance the rise of technology is to develop our humanity. And what makes us human? Intuition, emotions, feelings, the sensation in the body, and so on. Until today, I'm not sure the AI will at one point be able to feel something in its body, you know?
I doubt, even if maybe a very long time from now,
Well, maybe we will not be here anymore.
I
But
actually,
the thing is that, people makes buy from people. When you make a decision to buy something, 90% of the time it's an emotionally based emotion. It's not me saying that, it's the studies.
yes,
So even if you want to buy, I don't know, hire McKinsey or EY or whatever consultant company, you're not gonna work with the brand. You work with the people inside.
yes,
So, and there the only way to connect, and it's part of your humanity, even if you want absolutely to be rational, you cannot cut your feelings. That's why we keep on saying, oh, it feels right, I'm not sure, I can't feel this person,
yes, yes,
ah,
yes,
it smells bad, and so on, we use that kind of word. So it means that it is here. But at some point, we forget this because we need to reach something. And the pressure we feel, you were talking about the CEO and all the action he has to take and think. But this here is his nervous system is so tense at that point that he is only, on a survival mode. He's
Yes,
not
exactly.
he's not fighting against a mammoth or whatever,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
so many
Some
years
beast.
ago.
Yeah.
Yes, or for a territory or whatever, or for his real safety.
Yes.
But it's another kind of survival mode. And the thing is that it became the new normal. So this is totally depleting the nervous system and then the body. And then, okay, the best is a burnout, but there is so many other consequences on the body.
Yes,
And
yes.
then the thing is that this guy working like that, feeling like that, the triangle thoughts, behavior, thoughts, emotion, behavior.
Okay,
So
okay.
if his emotions are only on fight mode or flight or
Survival mode.
usually they aren't frozen, but on fight mode. So his behavior is on fight mode as well. And this puts a lot of pressure on partner, teams, family, and even himself. And
Yes,
what's the point of that? And if he slows down, slowing down doesn't mean going slower. It means being fully present with this one-on-one conversation. For example, I'm 100% or 200% here with you.
I
I'm
am
not
5,000% here.
I'm
Yeah.
not thinking to anything else,
Yeah.
and I'm not thinking to my next meeting or looking at my notification or whatever. So this, and I'm fully 100% here. This recharges me as well.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
not only giving, hurrying, and being in a rush for whatever. I'm 100% here. And if I can be 100% in meetings with my colleague, with my clients, and so on, the quality is much better. It's sustainable. Imagine a relationship with a client, and it should be like. And for my clients, it's like that. So that's why
Yes,
I take this example. Your customers are 100% aligned with your emotion and your inner state, and they can feel you and feel that you are here with them,
yes,
and that makes them loyal because
yes.
you are really listening. It's not just I want to sell.
Yeah. You're not just looking at money. You're not looking at an ATM machine. You're looking at a human being and trying to relate to them as a human being, whilst
Yes.
also trying to sell a business or an idea to them, essentially. So I understand fully.
That's that. And then, before you talked about, just to piggyback, you said efficiency. And I think we really have to pay attention to what does it mean efficiency, and why do we want to be more efficient, why we are looking for that. Because is it to increase productivity to earn more, or produce more to earn more? Or is it to be able to have more space to hold a space for our client, partner, whoever, be 100% in this space? Because as
Oh,
AI is rising, human people will need more human relationship.
yes, yes,
And you don't do that if you are fighting fires.
or if you're trying to act like the AI that has no emotions, no feelings.
Yes.
And what we've been discussing so far just reminded me of a course we did back in when I was still in the university. So I did engineering. We go to a point where we started to study how to make, industries. If you're working in an industry, for example, or a manufacturing firm, how to make it more efficient. So a particular part of the course was called formal and informal organizations. So essentially, we were told that informal organizations stem from formal organizations. So the idea is you have an organization, could be a manufacturing firm, could be probably an engineering firm or what have you. Then within that firm, of course, you have the formal organization where you have the hierarchy, you have the CEO, you have the assistant CEO, if that's something. Then you have the secretary, you have the receptionist, you have the engineers, you have the workers, you have the solicitors, you have the consultants, and what have you. So now you can have a company where now the informal organization could be something like this. The CEO could be friends with like a low-level worker, someone who works in the basement, but because they grew up together, they are friends. That's the informal organization. So what our lecturer at the time emphasized to us was that the informal organization is very important, if not as important as the formal organization, because if at the end of the day, workers are not able to relate outside of the workplace, outside of the manufacturing firm, outside of the company, it becomes almost robot-like and it could affect productivity. That ability to be able to relate to your CEO as if he was just another person on the street or just a friend could actually help you boost productivity because you wouldn't want to lose their trust, the trust you guys have in your friendship, aside being him being your manager or your boss at work. So essentially having that informal organization, which will also require, people being jovial, being able to just sit down, relax, have fun. There will be no pressure because this is the informal part of our formal organization. We're just trying to relax and just have fun and just, spend some time in nature, take some drinks, party or something. It really helps to ease that pressure too. So I think I don't know if you heard of this concept before, this informal organization being inside a formal organization if you ever come across it anywhere, I
No,
think
I haven't heard about this, but I have heard, of holistic companies or 4-day week companies or horizontal companies or and so on. But the thing is that whatever you use, you need this kind of informal because all this the productivity and the verticality in the companies was good at the beginning of the 20th century
yes,
because
yes,
it's 40s means Taylorism and they were very great and at that time for what they were doing and we learned a lot from them but today the rules aren't the same and the game is not the same anymore so we have to adjust and because imagine what is the result if we don't adjust.
oh wow,
And yes, yes, that's all.
yes, I understand, I totally understand, Valerie, and I really wish we could get to a point where we would. It's just essentially we as a people tapping more into our humanity. We're essentially we are creating the AI, building the AI. We're at the same time trying to compete with the AI, trying to be like the AI, which is just absurd. So moving on to my next question, you describe overdoing as a trauma response. Can you unpack that for us?
Yes, it's a trauma response. So I'm not a psychologist, but it can be, yes, the need to prove your worth, prove your legitimacy, prove um, that you exist and so on. Then the need to be visible. What else? Hmm.
Seeking for approval.
Seeking for approval, recognition, over pleasing, and a lot of stuff like that. And when you reach the results you were seeking by, this overperformance,
Yes.
at one point you realize that if by chance you reach the results, you will not be recognized more. You will this result is not the answer, to the trauma, because the
Correct.
answer is healing yourself and finding recognition in yourself, finding your own place. That was my big quest.
Yes.
But there is as well, I miss the word. Yeah, and this need to be absolutely perfect,
Oh,
to be seen, to be approved, to be recognized, to please people, to be sure they will keep working with you, or but nothing. Whatever you do, you are only responsible of half of the way. You cannot make your people, your team more happier by seeking their happiness or
exactly.
recognition. Work on yourself, be your best, the best person you
Best
can be
version of yourself.
today, best
Yes.
version of yourself today, because tomorrow is another day, and do your best. And then you will feel the recognition inside yourself. But if you are stuck in your hamster wheel or firefighting, how can you feel that you are fully accomplished, happy, or even that all the money you have won isn't didn't satisfy your, so no, no, it's a, you will still run for something that will never happen. You're
Yes.
chasing a goal that doesn't exist because it's
Yes.
in yourself, and it's a trauma to heal, and stop focusing on the trauma and start acting as if it's already, solved, because otherwise you keep on victimizing yourself.
It's almost like the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
The CEO could be like a hamster inside the hamster wheel, and you've always been telling himself, I can make this go faster. I can make this go faster. So you continue to speed up, exert more energy, become over exhausted, and still won't stop until it finally what just dies out of exhaustion, which is just
Yes.
my business.
I'm really living that again those days, because I'm launching my book and I don't spend enough time with my husband, and even if I am with him, I'm not 100%, because my head is thinking, oh, tomorrow, and so on. And I realized that last weekend, and I said, okay, we need time together. Let's spend real time together. Let's go out and so on. Because if I keep on saying, oh, we will spend some time, real time together once
Yeah.
my book is launched, we'll never know what happened in the meantime. And it's the time is, this time is lost and will never be back.
Yes, yes,
So, yes, live the
yes.
present moment.
Yes, exactly. You're so fixated on, after the book. Whereas there's actually time in your front you could spend with him and be there and be present. But because of that fixated, oh, once I launch the book, then I'll have time. So even if there's a time in your front, you're already projecting after the launch of your book, placing so much pressure on yourself to just launch that book at that time.
Yeah.
And at some point it could lead to burnout. So I totally get it. I totally get
Yes, totally. And then, I have this little alarm here.
it. Yes.
So I know exactly, no, no, take some time for you, take some time with your husband. It's one day rest or slowing down or going outside for a walk, for a 20 minutes walk,
Yes.
will not, you know, it will make a big difference on your nervous system and your inner satisfaction and inner peace. But, you know, the world will keep going,
I know
and
exactly.
you know, your people can wait 20 minutes, and even by chance, if you let a change to this space, problem with will or may have been solved alone, without yourself.
Yes,
So from time to time, when you just step out a little bit or step back, you realize that a lot of stuff don't need you right now.
exactly, exactly.
And
Yes,
the other point is that a lot of entrepreneurs that I meet say, oh, I had this intuition. I was already feeling that. I was sure that, okay, but why don't you listen to it, to this feeling or, gut feeling or intuition or synchronicity or whatever?
yes,
Can't you rely on it? Because each time you keep on saying, oh, I knew that. So why do you take rational decision? Because
yes,
because the pros and the cons show that it's better, but you are losing time, energy, and money if you don't trust your gut.
yes, actually, yes. Valerie, I honestly wish I could speak French, and I believe we would be more, the expression will be there so much. But I
Ah,
can
for
say,
sure.
yeah, I can say, but I really love the language, and I plan to learn in the future. I heard it's quite difficult. Can you ascertain to that? Is it true?
I don't know. It for sure. French is richer, has more vocabulary, and it's because of the culture, and it's really France is an old country, so yes, a lot of other or academic author and so on.
Yes, yes. And
But
one,
here in
okay.
Switzerland we speak French, but I speak basic French. A cat is a cat. It's not another animals or whatever.
Okay.
No, a white cat is a white cat for me.
Yes.
So my vocabulary is simple, but for sure, I think to learn English,
Francais,
français is not that as easier as learning English,
English, yes.
and all the how you do say the
Other,
verbs and the
okay.
timing.
Okay, the
I
nouns, the pronouns, and the rest, yes.
Yes, and yeah, there is a lot of, but it's not that far from English. The words looks like the same.
Just the pronunciation is very different.
Yes, it's just and the E or Demont, my name is not
Oh my God,
Demont.
so I
It
murdered
is
your name. I'm so
Demont.
sorry.
No, you said it right. You said it
Okay.
absolutely right. But the thing is that if you say Demont in English, they don't know how to write it,
Yes,
if they don't
yes,
know
yes.
how to spell it. So maybe we have to say Demont to be sure,
Yeah, yeah, yes,
But
yes,
it's all stuff like that, and that's why from time to time I struggle in English, because English is really straight to the point, you
yes, yes.
know.
I was about to say that French ha is much more expressive.
Yes,
It's very expressive. I notice it in your nuance and your dexterity, your gestures. Because when people speak English, I like go, oh, 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 oh. They're so stiff. But when I listen to French people speak, there's a kind of expression. It's almost like an art, as if they are trying to dance with their hands and their mouth. It's actually very wonderful and beautiful to see. So that's why I really wish I could speak French, but I'm going to learn. I've not just had the time nor the space to do it, but I would love to
one
learn.
day, and there is a lot of app today to help you to learn,
Yeah,
so
I
yeah.
guess maybe I'm just the one being lazy. Yeah. I need to just take out the time to do it.
Or maybe it's not because you're lazy, because you have other stuff to do right now, and
Sure,
then
sure.
one day you learn
Yeah,
French.
yeah. So let's move on to the next question. So, what is inner governance and how does it change how someone leads their business?
Yeah, so inner governance is the ability to rely on your inner compass. And what is your inner compass? It's made of inner security, inner ecology and inner capital. And what is capital is based on your strengths, your patience, your talents, your skills, your basically what you use for personal branding. And inner ecology is your level of energy, because if you are sick, of course, your compass is not reliable.
Yes.
And your motivation, why you do things, what, not only the results, but the primary motivation will give you, because motivation is movement, comes from motion.
Yes.
So it's a lot of energy and it's part of your inner ecology. And then your inner security, so the ability to be safe inside yourself and stable and steady in this, VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, ever
Yes.
changing and going really fast. And
It's going so fast. It's crazy.
that's crazy.
Yes. Yes.
And so, and then once your energy is good, your inner security is steady, and you feel strength in your body because of all your experiences, your life, your strengths, your skills, and so on. Then what is here? Vision, mission, why, values, and your intuition, or gut feeling, or voice of your soul, or
Yes.
and this is your inner compass, and you can listen to, vision shows the direction, and then your mission is going to the direction and how you are going there. And so your why will give you some energy as well. And then intuition will say, let's do that. I don't feel like, let's do it tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. Today we're going to do that. And when you, for example, I have a 10 minutes routine in the morning to calibrate myself to this inner governance.
Yes.
And just take 10 minutes. It's not 1 hour morning routine. No, no, just 10 minutes or maybe 5. Center yourself, put your feet on the ground, breathe in several times, lower yourself, your brain, your thoughts, calm down. What does it feel like if I do? How does it feel like if I do send a pitch for a podcast today?
Oh, wow.
Do
Yes.
I feel like doing that right now? Oh, yes. Yes, I can feel it in my body. Yes, let's do it. And okay, your brain can come back. Look at your to-do list. Is it somewhere in your to-do list? And 99% of the time, this action is in your to-do list. So just go with that. And then once it's done, come back to yourself. How does it feel like doing blah, blah, blah right now? It. And when you have meeting with people, with clients, take 5 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever, just to come back. What do I have to say? You get ready for each meeting, so looking at your notes and so on. Why can't you take a 5 minute breaks or 2 seconds just to come back to your center, feel how it is, and be able to be fully yourself?
Yes. I love this concept of inner governance because the statement you made, being is the new doing. For you to be able to achieve that level of being, to enter into the new doing, you need inner governance.
Yes.
Like you said, the ability to be able to look into yourself, understand, look through your intuition or gut feeling or your inner soul, your voice soul, like you said, and your thoughts, what you want to achieve, your goals. Just taking that few seconds or it may be a minute to just be inside yourself and just arrange whatever you want to see, arrange everything inside before you bring it out into the world. It's actually a very beautiful thing because if you always take out that time, it also creates a level of self-awareness to the point where you're not just acting on impulse, you're not necessarily reacting just on impulse. Maybe something could happen that would require you to just You just take out time to just relax. And you say, okay, this will be the best course of action to take. I really love this inner governance, and it's something I think I'm going to try and start practicing. I usually just
Yes, try
yes,
it. And you know, the thing, probably as human and in today's life, we need impulse or instinctive reaction.
yes,
But the thing is that when you act from inner governance, you always are recharged. You know, it
yes.
doesn't deplete your energy. So if one day or once a day or it happens that you have to react fast, you still have the energy.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And you feel like you are in control of the situation, no matter how complex or difficult it is, because you're not just reacting. Before you do anything, you think about it, you deliberate just for a few seconds to a minute, using your inner governance. And it gives you a sense of control over whatever is going on, which also reduces that pressure. Because the pressure comes from, trying to control the things we cannot. For example, now I may have a company and my company is maybe let's say the American stock exchange. I can't control the whole stock exchange, but I can control my company itself. So something could happen, a housing bubble could happen somewhere. Somebody could steal $1 billion, and the whole market will come down crashing. That I can't control that, but I can control how I react with my company. So using that inner governance, taking a few moments to just look into myself, relax and calm down, it gives you this sense of control, and you'll be able to like observe and notice what you can control and what is beyond your control that you just have to ignore or possibly just forget about, which is which is quite wonderful.
Yes, but, and we know that the only thing we can control is, I'm not even sure we can control our emotions, but probably what we think and how
Yes,
we act. And that's all. That's
actually,
all. I can,
yes,
I have, you know, my son is 19 years old. I have absolutely no control, and I never had, even if I thought at that time that I had control over him. That's not true. He
yes,
was crying whenever you want. You know,
yeah, yeah,
he was sleeping whenever he wants or
wanted.
needs, and it's I cannot control that.
Yes, and he could just wake up one morning and start crying. He's hungry. You can't control when he's hungry, when he's not hungry.
No,
So
no, that's human. You, you know, you only control yourself. That's all.
essentially, okay. So how can entrepreneurs practically use intuition in real business decisions without becoming irrational or impulsive? Like you said, we have to look into ourselves using our inner governance to, plan, organize before we react to, or sorry, before rather, yes, before we react to whatever situation is going on in our immediate environment. Now, looking into ourselves, using our intuition, our gut feeling, or the voice of our soul, how can we do that without being irrational or what's it called irrational or impulsive as an entrepreneur?
So you have to get used to observe or be aware of your own reaction. And at one point, you will realize that contraction in the body or need to act right now or yes, the voice in your head saying, "Oh, you should do that, and right now, and because blah blah blah, and if you don't do that, no, 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 no." Those inner voice and maybe pressure, and even all that other people tell you to do, all that is not linked to your intuition.
Oh,
Your
wow.
intuition, at its your
Cool.
soul's voice is patient. She has time, intuition. Your soul has your whole life to act. So that it's never a pressure. It's just a feeling of serenity, calm. From time to time, it's openness, heart open. And then it doesn't push you to act right now.
Oh,
It's
wow.
just
Oh,
then
I
your
think
ego or whatever in your head saying, you have to act now because otherwise you're going to lose, blah, 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 the opportunity and so on. But your
No.
intuition is serene. Tomorrow, she still is there. It's still
There's
there, sorry.
time. Yes,
It's
yes, yes. It's
so you have time, and so you have some seconds or minutes to come back into yourself and just observe. Am I contracted? What's pushing me to act right now? Why do I have to answer to this client right now? Because what do I fear if I don't answer right now? Really,
oh wow.
because it's a fear,
Yeah.
fear of losing the opportunity, the contract, the money, whatever. Being recognized, unsatisfied, him, I don't know. And then if
I
you're
think I get
really
it.
here in inner
Yes.
security, you, it's okay. You're gonna answer your. My screen is giving some thumbs because
Okay.
I did that.
Yeah,
um,
yes, yes. Oh, I just noticed this feature now. I never knew it was there.
Yes, yes, yes. But like,
Oh,
it's by default on my parameters, so I have to change
oh,
it
okay, okay,
probably.
okay. I'm
But
going to set it on my own.
when you're secure inside, confident, okay, maybe, and peaceful, and your heart is open, you have received information from your intuition. Maybe you will act within 5 minutes, but not because you fear lack or you're in scarcity mode or whatever. It's just because it feels right to contact him or answer right now.
Oh, wow.
And
So I,
it changes everything, in the energy in your body because acting from pressure, contraction, lack, and so on. Um, and if you don't act, the acidity is in your body. And because it's made of adrenaline, cortisol, and so on.
yes,
And the stress hormones. Did you say
yes,
hormones in English? Yeah.
yes, yes.
So,
It's
yeah,
hormones. It's hormones. It's the
hormones.
same thing in English. Hormones.
Yeah.
The cortisol, the adrenaline. I I I understand this so much because I was mistaking intuition for impulse. That inner voice, that intuition. That was why I made a mistake. I felt okay, maybe if you acting on intuition, you may be acting on impulse. But you've explained that no, intuition is patience, is serene.
Yeah.
Impulse is a separate thing entirely. Intuition is actually the one that before you do anything, it's always there waiting for you. It gathers experience over time. It doesn't just act erratically.
Yeah.
It it watches situation, it examines everything before it acts. So
Absolutely. It's really, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's really
yes,
the difference between instinct and intuition.
yes,
And I really explain that in my book because often we don't feel the difference. So we just have to notice how it feels in our body. But are you able to feel into your body how it is? Are you able to feel the difference? And instinct is here to protect yourself as well, not only to, it's a protection. And
yes,
from time to time, it's wisdom because it remember of the lessons of the past. So, but we have to learn how to make the distinction between the two because and as well with ego and the bad ego deciding, we need
yes,
ego to act, to be ambitious, but it's not necessarily bad. But let's pay attention to what is the good ego within us and the bad one,
yes, yes.
telling
That's
the
so
bad
wonderful, Valerie.
stories and so on.
Okay, okay, okay. And making us act on that constant pressure. Thank you so much for that submission, Valerie. That was wonderful. So you talk about business, a business that breathes with you. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis?
It's it's really like Imagine yourself breathing in and breathing out, how it will look like in your company and daily life. When you breathe in, you bring in energy,
Yes.
oxygen, and so on. And when you breathe out, you release the stuff you don't need.
Yes.
So if you take the time, if you rely on your inner governance and slow down, which doesn't mean going slower,
Yes.
just, be fully present, you will give your company the nutriments it needs and be able to see immediately what no longer fits.
Come on.
Because your intuition, your inner governance already knows what is sustainable or not. It's just the mind and rational stuff that, because we are so used to that, that
Yes.
keeps on saying, oh, no, 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 it's
It
not the end.
clouds our judgment and our
Yes,
memory. It doesn't make
yes.
us see what we need to see in the
Yeah.
moment.
So it
And that,
means that if you allow that for yourself, of course you will allow it for your employees. My employees, I don't, really, I don't care when they work, as long as they work from good energy and the job is done.
yes.
And
Yes.
I trust them. I don't need to control that they are working. They are paid to do the job. If they do it in 5 minutes or, yeah, 10 hours, they are paid. And if they are, smart or efficient enough to do it in 5 minutes and do it the proper way with good energy and they're hard in it, that's okay.
Yes. 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 So, Valerie, thank you so much for that submission. I have a set of rapid fire questions I want to ask you. You can either answer with a phrase or a sentence. So, the first one is doing or being.
A being.
Yes,
But
definitely.
I love to do stuff.
Yeah, definitely. That's important. So, the next one is what would you call hustle culture and culture in one word?
The hamster wheel.
Yes, exactly. The hamster wheel. Then, what do you think intuition feels like? Maybe for someone who may not be able to grasp the concept of intuition, which other word could you use to describe it?
Uh, Something like, I know, but I don't know why I know.
Oh,
Or
wow.
I don't know how I know, but I know, you know?
Yes, yes. Yes, that's it. Okay, so what do you think burnout teaches us?
To say no, so to put limits, to find the essential, or to come back to the essential, hopefully,
Yes, yes.
and to take care of ourselves and what's important for us.
Now, what do you think success without alignment is?
Or for me, it's peaceful success, which means a kind of, it's really located in my heart, and it's a mix of satisfaction and contemplation and being able to say, I had such a great day. It was really, really great today, and I'm fully satisfied. That's success for
Oh,
me.
wow. Yes, essentially, yes. At the end of it, not the one that you come back from your job, you get home, you are angry, you're bitter, you start taking it out on your family. The funny thing is, you might have had a good day at your job. Maybe you made the most sales today, or your company made the most profit or the most revenue this month, but you come home, you still be angry at your wife, angry at your children. That's not success, essentially. You might be friends.
No,
Yes,
no, if success costs you your energy, your family, your, I don't know, your passion, your friends, your free time, it's not success. It's
yes,
not success. See, because what's the point of life?
Yes, yes, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually, maybe we don't all have the same one, you know. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. So the final question before we wrap up for today. If someone is listening right now and they realize that they've been able to build success, but they have lost themselves in the process, what would you tell them about reclaiming their complete self while still honoring their ambition for success?
Can you ask the question once again?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll take it very slow. I said, so if someone has been able to achieve success, but
Yeah.
they have lost their self in the process, what would you tell them about reclaiming their complete self
Uh,
whilst still having the ability to be able to, chase success?
recharge your energy and take the time. Really, really take the time. Give you the gift to have the time to really ask yourself the right question. What's important for me? If I imagine myself on my deathbed,
Yes.
what will I say to
Yes, yeah,
myself?
exactly.
What
Would
would
I
be my
say
regret?
this has
And,
been a good life? Would I be
yeah,
happy with the life I've lived?
yeah.
Yes, yes, that's actually
Yeah, no, no, 90% of people on just before death, all their regrets are about spending time with their family. So it teaches us a lot, I think.
yes,
And yes, a real burnout takes a lot of time to recover. So I think we don't have to minimize this and really take the time. Even if maybe at one point we need, a basic job just to have money to be able to, yeah, pay the
survive.
invoices
Yes,
and just to give some peace to the mind and the thoughts. And because here it's say 90% of the energy consuming is located here in the
yes,
brain. So yeah, offer yourself the time to recover, focus on your health, and then ask yourself the right question. Ask for help. Go see a psychologist, a life coach, whoever. But yeah, and don't stay stuck with your thoughts and
thank
your
you
inner
so
critic.
Yes, thank you so much, Valerie. It's really been a pleasure to have you on the platform. You've shared your wisdom, your insights, and your perspective. And thank you so much for doing that. I love the work you're doing. It's actually a very wonderful job because lots of people, they are under this constant pressure to succeed. Even after succeeding, they're still pressuring themselves like it's not enough. I need to do more. And in the course of doing this, they lose other things. They lose their humanity, they lose their friendships, they lose their family. And worst of all, they lose their self, which is not nice at all. And I'm so glad that you're trying to bring people back to their humanity and helping them discover that you can be successful, you can be, a high achiever and still be able to, have your humanity. You don't need to lose your humanity in the process. And it's a very wonderful thing you're doing. So where can my audience and my followers learn more about your work and possibly connect with you?
So they can go to the website, beingisnewdoing.com. And yes, all my data are here and they can follow me on Substack. And if they speak French, they can go to LinkedIn or Instagram. Today, a lot of French content, a little bit of English. English is coming.
Yes.
And yeah, they can click on my website, valeriedemont.ch, and choose the English. And yes, look at what I am doing there. But
Yes.
of course, they can reach out on LinkedIn or wherever I answer in English, of course. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Valerie. I promise the
Thanks to
next time.
you. It was
Yes.
really great to talk with you.
Yeah, the next time we speak, I'm going to make sure I can speak French.
Yes. Oh, so you have to start
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Yes,
Speak
yes,
to you soon.
yes. Take care, Valerie. Have a wonderful
Yes, you
day. Take care
too.
of
You
yourself.
too. Likewise.
Bye.
Bye.